Yo, what up guys, it's Rythmn. This is going to be the second part of my level 55 Primeval guide that you've all been expecting. Now, in this part we'll go over the specific build I use and how to adapt to my playstyle, which honestly revolves mostly around kiting and anticipating the enemy's next move before they actually use it. So it may sound difficult at first and it may take some time to get used to everything, but I promise you it's well worth it to learn, and once you figure it out, you become really successful in no time. So let's talk a little bit about my build. Alright, so a lot of you guys are asking about my build, no big deal. I'm going to leave my build right here and I'll show you everything that I get. I'll also leave a link down in the description below for those of you guys who just want to, copy it yourselves or whatever. But like I say in every single one of my guide videos and all that stuff, the cool thing about Archeage is there's so many different options and ways you can go with building your Primeval or whatever class you're playing. That's what makes Archeage really fun. So in theory, what I'm talking about is like you don't need snare if you don't want it, you don't need float, you don't need boneyard. This is all according to how you do your playstyle, however you want to play, that's how you do it. But this is my exact build, and I think this works the best for me. I know there's different options you can go down here with getting crit, you can get more passives in archery, you can also not get some abilities in here like float or boneyard, and instead maybe get like health lift and Stalker's Mark. See, as one thing a lot of people don't realize is I don't play with Stalker's Mark because I don't feel like Stalker's Mark is really necessary since the nerf. I don't really feel like it helps Primevals at all, except for the Overwhelm, which is something you don't want to focus on doing as a Primeval. That's like a last resort kind of thing. But anyways, yeah, that's my build. Like I said, I'll leave a link down in the description below for those of you guys that want to check it out. And yeah, so now to the fun part of the video, the play style. Now it's very simple, and I want to throw this at the very top of the most important thing to learn, because it really is. Now the key to being a really good Primeval, in my opinion, is learning what all of the different mobility spells look like and do. Now, to be exact, what I'm referring to are abilities like teleport, mirror warp, you want backdrop behind enemy lines, shadow step, tiger strike, and honestly I can go on forever. There's just so many that you need to learn. Now, you're going to want to know and study each one of these abilities to how they look exactly, because the key to all of this is learning how to mimic your opponent's abilities. Now that means using the exact same ability, if you have it, somewhat near the same time he does it as well. Doing this will almost always keep you on the advantage with distance, and as long as you space it right, yes, I said spacing, that means don't spam your abilities because just because you panic and you can't get away. A lot of Primevals will tend to do this, and they'll panic and they'll spam their teleport and backdrop just to get away because they're scared. And you don't need to do this because doing this will easily result in you having no more escapes and ultimately lead to your death. Start 23. Now once you become a bit more advanced, you'll learn on specific classes, such as Dark Runners, that they have way more gap closers than you have escapes. I think they have 7 total off the top of my head, I'm not sure exactly. But in this case, you need to try and force them to use 2 gap closers compared to your 1 escape. Now, for example, what I like to do for Dark Runners is I like to make them use behind enemy lines and then maybe teleport or tiger strike just to get to me, in which case I'll just teleport away, and that's easily one of my mobility for there too, and that puts you at an advantage in a way. Now all of this will come easy as you continue practicing, so no need to rush it in like one day if you can't figure it out. It's all good, but remember that the most important thing to do at all times, no matter what, is to kite. Very rarely will you have to go in unless you're just more advanced and you know how to get in and get out really quick, because the moment you mess up as a Primeval, you're dead. Unless you just have a really high gear score, you are dead the moment you mess up. One mess up, that's it, that's all it takes. One key thing to throw in escapes as well is that most Primevals will actually teleport or like mirror warp away from their opponent. So if he jumps to me, they'll turn around and jump backwards and keep going farther away, which is not bad, it's fine. But what I like to do is teleport through my opponent as he uses a gap closer. So like for instance, if he's tiger striking, I'll teleport through him and he'll be over here, and this usually adds a bit of confusion to him, and it kind of helps you put you on the advantage just a little bit more. It's something small, but I would definitely look into it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much the gist of everything, kind of like words wise. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some of the actual play style in the arena, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. Alright, so in this arena I am facing a Dark Runner, in which case I know from the very beginning that he has way more mobility than what I do. So what I try to do typically is I try to act like I'm going to do a snipe, see if I can buy out maybe like a teleport, but it doesn't work here. So I decided to go right in and get my normal combo off, which is Concussive plus the Boneyard, and then snipe. But right after this snipe, I know right here it's time to get ready to start kiting because he's already broken a wall. So the first thing I do is I come up and I float, in which case he charges me already with Tiger Strike, and I know I need to start kiting big time right here. And he stuns me in midair and I shrug it off, and then I'm teleporting away, and I kind of have it in the bag here because like I said, I'm always one step ahead of him by teleporting just kind of at the same time that he does. You just want to be very careful and make sure you do not get stuck in like an animation lock, such as like endless arrows. Try not to use endless arrows until you're done with kiting to a point. It's very risky to get locked in there into the animation and not be able to get away. So once again, doing the same typical combo here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and open up on him, start shooting. As you can see, he kind of lets me get a couple shots off, and then he starts coming at me. So he Tiger Strikes, I teleport. He Shadow Steps, and I Mirror Warp, and then he charges. See how he dodged? I dodged the charge just because I Mirror Warped at the same exact time. Right here, he kind of leeches me, and I kind of get a leech off too, but I didn't realize I have a bleed off, but it's okay. So right here, I realize it, and I backdrop just in time, and then I Shadow Step his charge, which is kind of like, it's kind of like lucky. You got to guess when he's going to do that. But as you continue playing, you'll get used to it, and you'll know exactly the distance and when they typically use their charge. Alright guys, in this clip I am facing an Abolisher, probably your toughest counter you'll ever meet in the 1v1 arenas, just because he's so tanky. He has like this kind of heal that's really overpowered, and he's just really hard to kill and does so much damage. One mess up on this guy and I'm probably dead. But one thing that's really easy to kite with these guys is they will use behind enemy lines almost every time they initiate. It's retarded. They kind of give themselves up, and as you can see, I take advantage of that every time when I'm fighting this guy. So I'm getting my normal combo off, doing my damage, and he used his big heal right there, so he topped himself off. And I know right here he's out of cooldowns really, but I'm waiting for those behind enemy lines. You see right there, I know he's about to do behind enemy lines and use something else. Every Abolisher does it, and it kind of gives himself up, so take advantage of that. When you see Readout like that, when he pops Readout, he's almost unkillable. The only thing you should be shooting at him is Charge Shot, because it's always 100% gonna hit him, and Basic Arrow. Don't use any other ability because you'll just waste mana and you'll end up losing way quicker. So here I go, just trying to wait out that Readout, going in stealth after I see his behind enemy lines, and therefore he has no mobility. I don't think this Abolisher had teleport, which kind of worked to my advantage. But right here I pretty much have him just kind of you know, burning him. But as you can see, I wait for them to use their abilities first, because due to my really good ping, I'm able to kind of react as soon as they react, and as long as I'm quick with it, I can usually get away with it. But that's pretty much it, guys. Facing these classes, all you have to do is mimic their abilities. Let them be the people who engage, and you just run away. That's all you got to do. As you can see right here in the very beginning, he does behind enemy lines again, and he'll Tiger Strike, and I'll teleport through him instead of away from him. And look how far of a distance I am away from him now. Look how much of an advantage I have. It's insane. And right here I get 2 double dropbacks because of my chest piece, which is kind of saved my life, because I ended up dodging a Tiger Strike right there, and then I dodged a charge right there. So that was pretty cool. But right here I fat fingered, and I almost fucked up my whole entire match right here. And I'm gonna Mirror Warp. I actually Mirror Warp back into him, and so I have to leech him. Thank God that was up, and thank God I was able to get away from it, because he probably would have ended me right there. And once again, here I go kiting. That's all you got to do, is just stay that max distance and wait for that behind enemy lines. It's kind of one of the most crucial things. But Abolishers are really hard to beat. Keep that in mind. Last but not least, do not get like disheartened or unmotivated when you can't beat classes such as this, like a Bastion or an Abolisher, or just anything tanky that's really kind of like our huge counter. I think this guy was like almost 5k gear score, and it's almost impossible to beat these guys. As you can tell, I outplay him in almost every situation. No offense to the guy, I mean, he's playing the class, but it's just his class just overall just counters ours like completely 100%. I get multiple resets on this guy and multiple like setups on him, easy. but you know, it's just not enough. I'd have to have a really high gear score. So I know a lot of times when I'm doing ones, I have to do them because I'm farming honor. I honestly hate ones because it's really frustrating to play sometimes and lose these matches. But you can't win them all. These guys are just, Archeage is a game where 1v1 is not really balanced at all, and these guys will always win no matter what. So just don't get unmotivated or anything like that. I know there's been plenty of times where I've almost quit the game just because I can't win arenas or something like that. So it's frustrating. But honestly, Primevals are not a good 1v1 class in arena, unless you, like I said, you have a really high gear score. So try to stick to open world PvP, you know, 5v5s. Those are so much fun if you can get into those. It's just so much fun as a Primeval and open world PvP. But I think that's the end of the video. I think I get like 3 resets on this guy, but it's just not enough. But hopefully this video or this guide helped you guys. Part 3, I'm going to include a more advanced gearing setup for everybody that you know, has a little bit more money, wants to go with kind of like the Obsidian / Gale set. So keep in mind that'll be coming up pretty soon. But yeah, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, guys, if you really enjoyed the video and it really did help you, because I really enjoyed making these videos for you guys and all that good stuff. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.